Did you know? Leo Tolstoy. Did you know that one of the most famous writers in history started his life as a wealthy nobleman? Leo Tolstoy was born in 1828 at Yasnaya Polyana, his family's large estate in Russia. As a young man, Leo was full of energy and curiosity, but he often struggled to find his purpose. He attended university but left before finishing his degree, preferring to return home to manage his lands. He wanted to learn about the world in his own way, through experience rather than just books. Before he became a world-renowned author, Leo was a soldier. He joined the army and served as an officer during the Crimean War. This experience changed him forever. Being on the front lines allowed him to see the bravery of ordinary people and the terrible reality of battle. He began writing short stories about his experiences, which were published and quickly gained him fame. These early stories showed the world that Leo had a unique gift for describing human emotions under pressure. In 1862, Leo married a woman named Sophia. She was not just his wife, she was his most important partner in his literary career. Writing a massive book like War and Peace was an enormous task. There were no computers or typewriters back then, so everything had to be written by hand. Sophia worked tirelessly alongside him, reading his messy handwriting and copying the entire manuscript of War and Peace by hand 7 times. Her dedication allowed Leo's genius to reach the public. Did you know that War and Peace is famous for being one of the longest novels ever written? It has over 1,200 pages and features more than 500 different characters. Leo wanted to capture the entire scope of human life, from the grand strategies of kings and generals to the quiet conversations of families. He spent years researching history to make sure every detail was correct. The book is so large that many readers feel like they have lived a whole second life by the time they finish it. After finishing his first masterpiece, Leo wrote another famous novel called Anna Karenina. It begins with one of the most famous sentences in literature. Happy families are all alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. In this book, Leo explored the complicated nature of love, society, and the search for meaning. He had a special talent for making readers feel exactly what his characters were feeling, whether it was joy, jealousy, or deep sadness. As Leo grew older, his ideas about life began to change. He started to believe that wealth and fame were not important. He wanted to live a simple life, like the peasants who worked on his land. He stopped wearing fancy clothes and started wearing simple tunics and handmade boots. He even learned how to make his own shoes. He began to focus more on his spiritual beliefs, teaching that people should live with kindness, honesty, and manual labor. One of the most fascinating facts about Leo's later life was his influence on world leaders. He became a strong believer in nonviolence. He wrote many essays arguing that people should never use force against each other, even to change the government. These writings reached a young lawyer in South Africa named Mahatma Gandhi. The two men began writing letters to each other, and Leo's ideas about peaceful resistance later helped Gandhi lead India to independence. Even though he was a serious philosopher, Leo still loved to try new things. Did you know he learned how to ride a bicycle when he was 67 years old? The Moscow Society of Velocipede Lovers gave him a bicycle and taught him how to use it. He practiced in the garden of his estate, proving that it is never too late to learn a new skill. He enjoyed the feeling of freedom and movement that the bicycle provided during his morning rides. Leo's life ended in a very dramatic way. At the age of 82, he decided to leave his home and his wealth behind forever. He slipped away in the middle of the night, hoping to find a quiet place to live out his final days as a simple hermit. However, he became ill during his journey and had to stop at a small train station called Ostapovo. News of his location spread quickly, and reporters from all over the world gathered at the station to wait for news. Today, Leo Tolstoy is remembered not just as a great Russian writer, but as a teacher for all of humanity. His books are translated into dozens of languages and are read by millions of people. He taught us that literature can be a mirror for the soul, and that the search for truth is the most important journey a person can take. Whether through his epic novels or his simple lifestyle, Leo's legacy continues to inspire people to live with more compassion and purpose.